Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. My apologies, y'all. My apologies. And I swear I put the time even later. Right? My apologies. Life was lifing. You know why they call it reckless streams, and yes. Although this is kind of sort of reckless streams, not all the way, but yeah. Um, Shout out to Dr. I was gonna say Dr. Thunder, sorry. Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Um, so Dr. T. Hassan Johnson streamed last night, right? The link is in the description for those of you who haven't seen it yet. The title is Have Black Women's Love of Resources Permanently Driven Black Men Away? And Dr. T goes on and speaks about, the what we see going with Edward Blum, where he's attempting to go after any organization that is in the business of attempting to help marginalized people, namely black people, namely black women, right? And different other organizations that we see using civil rights legislation written not in 1966 but in 1866 to defend um black people, right? ADOS FBA people. And Edward Blum is using laws meant to defend Black American descendant of slaves, African American descendant of slaves, using laws to defend them against them, right? Namely, once again, black women. So Dr. Teese, goes through the stream. He invites people up at the end one by one, and he invites a young lady on, and the young lady proceeds to tell Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, um, this talk of racism and anti-blackness is passe. She goes on to call him just another black man. Yes, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Say that one more, Ginzy. Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Professor Dr. T. Hassan Johnson is just another Negro. Right? He's just another Negro. She goes on to say, essentially, it's black people, namely black men, still holding on to this talk of racism. We no longer live in that era. Okay. She says what we all think, which is black women don't belong to black men. Black women never belonged to black men. Black women belong to, of course, white men. Now, this is a bit of pushback I would offer. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. When he spoke to the healthcare professional, and the link is also in the description for that, and he posed the question to her, do black women belong to black men? And we watched her struggle to say yes, right? We watch her equivocate. We watch her dance around and move around and attempt to put qualifiers on it. And she said yes, but with a lot of straining, a lot of stress. And Kevin Samuels and the comment section all were saying, we know, it's no. Again, we know, it's no. The answer is no. Black women do not belong to black men because black women do not think or feel that they belong to black men. And we have watched this more and more. Once again, Queens and Cocktails with Ice Cube. We watched it once again, obviously, with the healthcare professional speaking to Kevin Samuels. We watched it last night with Dr. T. Hassan Johnson and this young lady, right? So, my pushback to Kevin would be all of these women want to belong to white men. Yes, that includes black women, and yes, black women are absolutely supremely loud about it. Yes. White colonialism, let me say this again to the people of color on the left, particularly the black people, particularly the black women. If y'all not talking about what colonialism did to the minds of women, namely women of color, namely black women, everything from their beauty standard. Let me say that again. Not, oh, the male gaze, the black male gaze, and we're wearing the wigs and the weaves because that's what black men like. I didn't say that. I said how black women internalize the beauty standard, how black women see success, how black women see masculinity and manhood, and who's the real man. Oops. How black women see their autonomy, their agency, how black women see black men, how black women see white men, white hegemonic power, white colonialism, white masculinity. Oops. Huh? What we see here with this young lady is a rewriting of the history. You see how sympathetic she sounded towards white folks of the past? They fought a war to free us. uh, so, my question now, as I said before, the black community will not be an egalitarian community. It will be a patriarchy by feminist specifications, which means black men pay and shut up, protect, provide, and shut up, and black women still run this. And that is what they will call an egalitarian community. Dear FD signifier, foreign man in a foreign land, dear Josh, Ed, and Alvin and the Chipmunks, Ed and Eddie, dear T1J, dear Conscious Lee, dear Professor Odie, this is what it is. This is what it's always been. It's only getting worse and louder. Dear Van Lathan, have black men harmed black women so much that they don't even want to apologize? And all those women told you apologize for what? They dismissed your question with saying apologize for what? Because what animates them is exactly what you saw here with this young lady. Right? It's exactly what you saw here with this young lady. She lets you know what it is. It's no longer up for debate. It is no longer up for debate. Oh yeah, Detroit. Van Lathan was on Ole's um stream speaking about Rhoda, Miss Brickface, and speaking about whether Rhoda should apologize to the community, should apologize to black men. And he was on there with Ole, and I want to say, was it two or three other women? And he was up there with Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. And those women, in unison, essentially, told him apologize for what? So yes, Van Lathan also, yes. Right? So let's play this clip. Y'all already know Mr. Z shoestring budget, Velcro budget, spit shine budget. Shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson for telling us clip it. Right? And so yeah, black women are gonna get louder and louder. So from what we can see, this young lady is maybe a young millennial, maybe Gen Z, right? Young millennial, she looks like a young millennial, maybe Gen Z. So y'all go from Gen X, which is Claudia Jordan and Vivica A. Fox and Lisa Ray on Queens and Cocktails, speaking to Ice Cube, right? You go to the young lady that Kevin Samuels was speaking to. I think she was probably a millennial, maybe Gen X. And then now you're speaking to about this young lady who is a young millennial, probably, or a Gen Z, right? So, yeah, that's hysterical, Indigo. Indigo, it's sandal buckle budget hysterical, right? So let's go.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Your camera's on. Do you want it on? Okay, here we go. Is it on? You're muted. Yeah, we can't hear you. I said I'm gonna turn my camera off for the time being because my hair ain't done. Oh, okay. Do you want to drop a word on this?
same voice. I'm not saying, come off as the typical, but I just also want to say a lot of people might ask, oh my God, why are you over here? How did you find this channel? I'm a Black woman, and I go to the YouTube search. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I look up things for Black women. A lot of Black women do. So if you go to the YouTube search, you will type in Black woman, and you type in live stream, filter it, and then a whole lot of people, it will be titled Black women are disgusting, Black women are this, Black women are that, Black women. So I typically watch things that are dedicated to Black women. That's how I find these type of channels. But anyway, as a Black woman, I'm gonna calm down because, my hair is a little messy. But I just want to say, as far as these, sorry, I'm like a little high. So as far as these types of videos, I just think it's very laughable because you can't. I just think it's weird that we fought for generations to not be judged based on the surface of our skin, based on our image. It's like us Black people, we can't get away from racism. Now we live in this new generation where we finally come as one. These new generation of white people are not judging us based on the color of our skin. They're more inclusive, and now we have inverted. I have to say this is only online because I don't get Black men who judge me based on the color of my skin.
Hold on a second. But we're talking today about policy, and we're talking about resources that are extended on the basis of gender and how that's impacting the Black community.
There's no Black community. But in order to have a community, you have to belong to people. We've never belonged to you guys. It's so weird when y'all keep saying our woman. You guys never had any authority over us. You guys never had any power. We've always belonged and have always been property of white men. Now, if you want to move on to this generation, we're free. It's not like back in the day. Even when feminism was a thing where women didn't have rights, we still wasn't enslaved by Black men. Black men still had no authority over us. When you saw those movements back in the day, they were predominantly white women because white men ruled everything. So it's so uncomfortable when you say our woman as if you guys ever had any type of it's so weird. And what community? A broken community. When slavery ended, our race was supposed to end. We were only meant to be property and slaves. We are dysfunctional. And we would never ever be a thing because we was not meant to be a community. We were not meant to thrive. We got out of being slaves, and the whole world wanted us dead. We were not meant to be here. But for somehow we thrived because a group of white people felt sorry for us, and they ended slavery, and they fought, and a lot of them died during the Civil War because it's like you guys keep going.
You got about 10 more seconds because I got to close the show.
I'm done, but I just want to say hi and welcome to, because I just found your channel because you're just another Black man who's going to be going 10 years from now talking about us. It's just weird. I think you should go on with your life.
Oh, thank you.
Dr. T with the patience of a Buddhist monk, right? And Trell says mental health. So when the young lady said, when slavery ended, we should have died, essentially is what she said. I do think she's broken. Yes, and I caught that too, Naaman, when she says I'm a little high, right? I do think she's broken. That young lady is broken. She is gone broken. But what she expressed is what we hear from Black women, oftentimes in the same exact words, sometimes slightly differently worded, but the message is still clear. Black women do not belong to Black men. The Black community should have ended during slavery. Let me get real sober with y'all. We're going to get real dark right now. What we have are a group of Black people that want to give up. They want to die. What they're saying is, you know what white folks won? They don't have the fight in them. They go to school with these kids. They go to school with certain Latinos and white folks. They go to college and university with them. They might chill with them. They might have sex with them. And they're like, how in the hell are we supposed to overcome this? When they see a police officer or a cop delete a black person, a black young man, and that person gets a slap on the wrist, if even, right? Particularly for the black girls that become black women. Yeah, we understand that their plight is not our plight. Yes, black men, absolutely true. With that, when they sitting in those offices with Becky, I already told y'all how Becky be talk. Oh yeah, my life like this, and I have this great this, and my husband that, and my boyfriend this, and my life is so great here, and my mom is leaving me this, and my dad's leaving me this, and I have connections here and there, and in Venom cases, damn Z, you think they want to die themselves? Um what did Cynthia G say? Yes, she want to see the black community destroyed. What did Cynthia G say? What did this young lady say? We have heard it multiple times. It's not just that. I'm trying to think of another one. We've heard multiple black women pretty much say this. Think about the sentiment, I'll do bad all by myself. Let's think about that. If I can't have the black man the way I want him, and these white dudes are too damn racist, these Latino guys are too colorist and racist, these Asian guys are too colorist and racist. So what if I'm delusional? I would rather be single, let's be very honest, single and miserable by myself than feel like I settled. I would rather gamble. You heard what the more seasoned black woman said? I got a promotion at my job and I divorced my husband. And here I am racking up bodies, right? Yes, I think we have a bunch of risk averse, mainly coward ass black women who want to end it all, right? They hate having to wear the same jersey color as black men. They hate it. They hate that they feel like they're stuck in the black community with black men. They would rather this thing get destroyed and shredded than to feel stuck because they whether they know how to articulate it or not, they inherently know white folks don't really mean this post-racial crap. They know because they experience it. Yeah, they don't experience what black men experience, but they experience it. They know America's not a melting pot, right? Huh. So this young lady to me is broken, number one. But number two, that doesn't mean that what she said wasn't true. When you hear Chrissy speak, when you hear Cynthia G speak, when you hear Lexus Exodus speak, huh? Listen to what Bowser told you. She was on the phone, right, with the YouTube exec, and she threw a temper tantrum because she couldn't have her way at the time and get Obsidian cut off from YouTube. These women are broken. I've said it before. They're damn they're in straitjackets mentally. They're gone. Integration or assimilation, they're gone. They've been around white folks too damn long. It's ripping them apart. And y'all, that wealth transfer to millennials ain't even really go in like that yet. They're broken already. They didn't even really get to the wealth gap is still like it's not the whole chasm yet, and they're broken already. Oh, when look, when Mr. Z told y'all that they're losing it, wait until they wait. Remember, Mr. Z is a millennial. I'm trending towards my later 30s. By the time I'm 45, hopefully still alive. By the time they're gonna be gone. Y'all gonna be watching black women break everywhere, everywhere, and that's not a wish. That's a promise. Because America is not going to do anything, and the black community refuses. Black women, black elders refuse. The way they think they're preparing their daughters is inadequate. That wealth transfer is going to shred black people, namely black women. They're not ready. And then you have Ed Blum calling all of these corporations and entities bluff. So the what black women would normally rely on to bolster them and to float them, they're not going to have that, right? You're going to watch them getting caught just like Accountable Commentary covered the two black women that got caught. One of them had her son with her stealing out of Walmart. We're going to watch that. You're going to be seeing that left, right, and center all over the place. All over the place. Y'all heard what she said? She called Dr. T. Hassan Johnson just another black man. Like he's just another there. I said it before. Who needs white supremacists when you got black women calling a brother that went to school for how long, PhD, just another meh? When I have serious disagreements with Danielle, excuse me, Bell Procope, and I called her doctor, even in that, I made sure to keep on correcting myself and still say doctor. Huh? And this young lady just said Dr. T. He didn't see that man. Whatever. Right? So she's broken, number one. But number two, what black community? This broke listen to her. Although her voice was very timid, right? This broken black community. When she said broken, y'all don't hear that girl she's torn to shreds inside. She's gone. Listen, although her voice didn't necessarily change when she said broken, that when she said broken, the way she said broken, the that place in her statement where she said broken, this broken thing. Translation: what are you attempting to salvage here? Let it die, is what she's saying. What are you attempting to salvage? It's gone already. It's dead. Y'all don't see a black woman throwing a temper tantrum when you see it? This is temper tantrum talk. This is I'm not a white woman talk. What's the point of having a black community if y'all ain't gonna make me a white woman talk? When I say it, and shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Once again, we're not just talking about black male, black woman intimacy. I use that as a springboard to talk about something larger. What this young lady said, it is exactly what Chrissy is saying, exactly what Bowser is saying. Although she likes to hide behind her Harvard degree, it's the same thing Yanni is saying. It's the same thing Cynthia G is saying. One of the darker skinned young lady that did the divestment panel with Deborah Cooper. I think she was married to a white man, an upper middle class white man, and she put on, when she was speaking, she put on her nice and demure and softer voice. It's the same thing she was saying with her white husband. They're all saying it. What's the point of having a black community if I can't be? If y'all not gonna make me no damn white woman, ain't no point in having this. It's dead. You can't make me a white woman. It's dead. Huh? This is temper tantrum talk. This is temper tantrum talk. Listen to her say broken. Huh? We don't belong to you. We belong to the white man. It's far more likely that he could turn me into a white woman than you can. Oops. Huh? She's broken. And she's looking at the black community like it's broken. We understand the black community is broken, but our ideas of why the black community is broken and hers are different. We're talking about deprivation. We're talking about sabotage. Dr. T. Hassan Johnson literally was speaking about sabotage. Outside forces sabotaging the black community, intermingling in our internal politics, picking winners and losers, right? And if we know y'all over here picking literally eeny, meeny, miny, mo, picking what leader's going to be in charge of Ukraine, oops, and get caught doing it, by the way. If y'all doing that overseas in the Ukraine, you think they're not doing that over here in America with this 12, 13, 14% of the US population that they've always seen as an issue for them? This black population in the United States, you don't think they intermingling in our internal politics? Sabotaging? And all these women can, and that's why Khadijah and Bowser and Teen War. That's why all they can really, they always got to be boiled back down to desirability. They can't help it. It's always about desirability because for them, either a rich man is supposed to pick me, whether it's rich white man, black man, Latino man, Asian man, or just a white man with some influence and power, maybe upper middle class. Their obsession with desirability is because of the white woman chase, the chase for validation in the society by being seen and considered politically, socially, yes, economically, but definitely politically and socially, a upper middle class, rich or wealthy slash elite white woman. That's what this is. This young lady got up there to troll Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, essentially tell him, shut up, you ain't gonna make us white women. Only white men can make us white women. That's why we don't belong to you. We don't belong to you, black men. We belong to the white man. Telescope, you couldn't say it better. And Telescope says black women judge their own lives against TV fantasy of how white people live. It's a mixture of that, and then when they are around white women and white women are lying to their faces. Median household income is $74,000 a year, and somehow black women think all these white women and Latinas are living the lush life, and their husbands are buying them McMansions and spending $100,000 on a Range Rover and sending their kids to private school and or a really nice public school. Meanwhile, median household income $74,000 a year, and 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency. Right. So let's play what Dr. T said after the fact. Y'all give me 1 second. Right? And shout out to Dr. T, because Dr. T is going to say, and far more articulate way of saying it, what Z says all the time about why we speak about these things and why we speak the way we do. So once again, shoestring budget, spit shine budget, how Indigo said, sandal buckle budget. Here we go, y'all.
Now, here's the thing. For those who are content creators, I let her talk for a reason. Feel free to capture and do what you gotta do. Clip it. That's the reason I let her talk uninterrupted, because I wanted you guys to be able to have access to that. Now, as far as this kind of blowback that some of us are getting from these trolls about, you're just talking about whatever. We're not talking about this because of our women or any of that bullshit. What we're talking about is policy. What we're talking about is what I called a couple of years ago, social gentrification. It's when you have another community that can come into your space, literally buy off whole demographics by offering them peanuts and dismantle a community from within. Now, we can debate back and forth about how much the black community saw itself as a community, ever identified as a community, so on and so forth. But I'll tell you this, a lot of this blowback came in with the rise of feminism and the courting of black women by white women and by Western resources. Now, that in and of itself began the splitting from within. And why is that relevant? Well, when you had the advent of global media, magazines and newspapers, you had this small black community, right, that were on camera getting bitten by dogs. Now, all of a sudden, in the 1960s, people all around the world wanted to know what we had to say. And for the most part, that black community, at least in terms of public media and the outcries for justice, were consolidated. This is why the 1970s was filled with every ideological group possible coming within the black community and dismantling it from within. And this is something that you're not going to find articulated any more clearly than Bobby Wright, which you can find right here on YouTube, Dr. Bobby Wright, psychologist. It's in and breaks down in just a few minutes the impact of the 1970s. And it was a complete reversal of the 1960s. It had to do with buying off demographics of the black community, from women to students, across the board, from class to gender, sexuality to color. Every dynamic you can think of was used after the 1960s to make sure that there was no coherent, articulated political position that came from the black community, especially one that seemed united in its focus. It has succeeded, in my assessment, in terms of breaking apart the black community from within. So we're accounting from an area that's not gotten much pushback in the last 5 decades. We're accounting for how this functioned on gender terms. Now, I'll leave you with this. The reason it's so important to discuss this on gender terms is because for every other type of disassociation that the black community witnessed coming in and trying to dismantle from within, nothing is as formidable as breaking down family formation. Get this and understand it well. If you're talking about different political ideologies, right, left, you're talking about religion, whatever religion you choose, all of those things can be sources of dismay. But when you have one that actually breaks down family formation, no community can continue beyond that. And so I wanted to come onto YouTube to give black men the vocabulary to break down what has happened and what is continuing to happen. Because we're at a critical time where we're actually witnessing these resources that black women have been lured with for generations now starting to be withdrawn right in front of us. And we're starting to see the impact it's having.
And once again, shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. And yes, Passport OG, strong moment by Dr. T. Yes, absolutely. And Afro National says Dr. T has the patience of a saint. Absolutely, right? So this speaks to what we're saying. We know that how America moves overseas and how it uses different leaders that it props up as proxies. We understand that if America is moving like that overseas, what is it doing domestically? We already know about that 200 and some odd million to Pakistan for what, gendered studies or something like that. And apparently that number was hiked up to about 200 million. I'm not sure how true that is. What y'all think? Right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Leon says, and thank you for the super chat, she was adopted by white people. Black women didn't give her permission to say that 25% of the truth. Hysterical. We know what part was true. Black women need to check her. Yeah. She gave up the ghost. She gave up the ghost. Right? So what black women are saying to black men is we don't belong to you, but we own you. We don't belong to you, but we own you though. Right? And I want us to really consider what that means. Black women do not belong to black men, but black women own black men as property, handed over by white folks at the end of slavery. Not that they appreciate us, not that they even really like us much at all, but black men are black women's responsibility, unfortunately. Right? That's what black women are saying. It's not exactly that all of them want us, they mishandle us, but if they wish to procreate, which exceedingly is becoming nope, then they can reproduce themselves with black men. Right? This young lady said everything that needs to be said. What else do you need to know? Right? So, you know, someone in the comments said she was adopted or something like that. And that would explain a lot. That would explain a lot. I do think these different environments produce very broken black people. Very broken black people. I think these white spaces produce anybody want to talk about Candace Owens? Oops. Which y'all think she not broken? You would call all type of N-words, and every chance you get, you defend those type of white men. You married one of those type of white men. God damn, Z. Which y'all think Candace Owens ain't broken? Huh? Y'all think Kim Klacik ain't broken? Y'all think Serena Williams ain't broken? God damn, Z. Huh? Eve told you her white husband tamed her. You think Eve ain't broken? Look at the language she used. She said her husband tamed her. Huh? You think Cynthia G ain't broken? You think Bowser ain't broken? Naomi Campbell over here throwing remotes every chance she get. Every other second you see her, she's with a white dude. You think she ain't broken? Huh? Sage Steele always, I'm toujours gris et dents, which means always showing her teeth. Y'all already know Creole. Every chance, every time she's around a white dude. Malika Andrews, you think these women ain't broken? These black women and black girls ain't broken? When they integrated the elementary school Little Rock, right? When they were integrating some of those high schools, those black kids, look at what they had to go through. Huh? These women are gone. Look at the young lady that O'Shea always covers, the little thrown off divester chick. Huh? Real Talk with Yanni had an open panel once, and she was bringing on women one by one. And there was a Canadian, I want to say she was Canadian sister that called in, and she worked in a place, and she said it's full of white folks, and one or two Asians here, and it was her and a young brother that worked there, and the young brother pretty much gave her the cold shoulder. He probably could smell that she was broken. Probably Andre. Andre, you working with this thrown off black woman? I'm playing with you, Dre. Right? I know he's not in here. He'll probably listen to the playback. And the way she sounded about the fact that the brother pretty much stayed away from her. And he wouldn't pay me attention, and he thought he was better than that. Broken. You ain't paying attention to none of white folks, huh? This one brother that could smell that you're broken, and he's staying the hell away from you with your thrown off ass. That's what you focus on. Yeah, the all men are dusties. All black men. She said all black men are dusties. Huh? K Michelle with men aren't good people. Broken. Huh? I bet you Ryan Lochte was jumping up and down in your esophagus. Broken. That little darker skin corn star. They're harassing me. Broken. Huh? Azealia Banks. Where is it? Where's that comment? Let me see. I just saw it. Yeah, better you. Azealia Banks, broken. What did Azealia Banks say when Azealia Banks got into it with DC Young Fly? Before she danced on DC Young Fly Baby Mama Grave. Years ago, when she got into it, was the first she couldn't help but tell you, I'm going home to go do what such and such with my white man. Broken. Because the flex on black men is to tell black men how what you're gonna let a white man jump up and down in your esophagus. Lawrence Fishburne daughter, another one. She only spent so many years doing corn, huh? What you thought? You thought them white boys was gonna take it soft on you because you Lawrence Fishburne daughter? Yeah, how did that work out? Broken. Huh? All these black women are broken. Which y'all don't miss the clip that excuse me, that Compassionate Callous played on his channel with the Asian woman. Listen to Mindy Kaling talk. Huh? Listen to the Latinas talk. They're all broken because they're not white women. It's driving them absolutely insane. All of these women. Let them talk long enough. Let them talk long enough. Huh? How did I forget? Oh, Stefco. Oops. There's another darker skinned sister that's starting to make the rounds now. She's even darker. And she was married. Now she's divorced. I think she said she got fired from her job, and so she was unemployed. And if y'all thought Ostefco sounded depressing, this young lady took Ostefco's life and just got worse. But this one actually was married to a white dude. I forgot the name of her channel. I didn't check out a couple of her videos. Another one, broken. Huh? And Jake says, Compassionate Callous, which video is he mentioning? Compassionate has a video. It's actually, yeah, I actually have it linked on one of my other videos too, where it's a young Asian lady, and it's one of the men on the street interviews, and she's speaking about her mom and and she's speaking about going to school with a bunch of white kids, and she wasn't the pretty white girl, blonde, blue-eyed white girl, and she wonders when she's dating if she's essentially trying to seek white men's validation because she didn't get it when she was a kid, when she was in high school. And the answer is yes, young lady. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Yes, you are. I don't even know you. Yes, you are. Oh, Passport OG. Passport OG, you got to do it now. You got to do it now. You got to do it. I will sit. Passport OG, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to link the video I did with all of those different colors of women, different races of women, essentially drooling over, right? No pressure, pressure. I'm going to link that in the description of this, and then of this video, of this live, and you could pick the different races of women, but this, you gotta play this clip from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You gotta play it, right? And for those of you that from some of you younger millennials and Gen Z, there's an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Will Smith's dad comes to visit him, and he makes promises and whatnot, and they're supposed to meet up and et cetera, et cetera. And Will tells Uncle Phil on this episode, if it wasn't this one who he's like, "You're not my dad." So he tells Uncle Phil, "You're not my dad," when they get into it midway through the episode. And at the end of the episode, the Will Smith's dad didn't come through. What he promised, he didn't do. And it broke Will, right? And Will started crying and said to Uncle Phil, "Why don't he love me, man?" Like, right? Like, how come he don't love me? And so Passport OG, they're like, and essentially Uncle Phil essentially said, "But I do, and yeah, I took on dad responsibilities, right? Like I love you, right?" And yeah, so like Passport OG, you gotta play the different. I'm gonna link it into the description of this live, right? And you could just go through the links for that video, for that live that I did. I don't even, yeah. I'll put everything after the stream. But yeah, no, that is women of color, namely black women, speaking about white men, right? Right. And Samuel Norton, exactly. They're crying like that for Zaddy, essentially, right? And no placeholder says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And no placeholder says, "This is her grandmother's fault. My psyche is fine." Right? Come on, compassionate. This is a no brainer. Absolutely. Right? And compassionate says, "So Z, are you saying women of color are the actual quote unquote conquered women of the West?" Yes, absolutely. And if you let them talk long enough, look, okay, I played the clip from my first live stream. Um, it wasn't my first very first live stream. I think it was my first um Black Manosphere Show of the Week live stream, where I played all of those people of color essentially pining after white men in Canada. It was a whole panel of them. It was a news segment of them talking about online dating and whatnot, and all of them were pining for white men. The LGBTQ men, the Asian LGBTQ dude, the I think the Indian guy might have not been pining for white dudes, and maybe he was straight. But all the rest of them, whether it was the Asian dude, the black woman, the mixed black woman, the all of them were pining after white men. What did Dr. Chantel Bugs tell you? White men with beards. All of these people have a thing for white men with beards. Well, what did Dr. Jennifer Lundquist tell you? It's all about race. And we see a prevalent, preference for white men from everyone, essentially, except for straight men and gay black men. Everybody else is chasing after white dudes. And I'm tying that to this by saying, what did the lady say? What did the young lady say? What did she tell Dr. T. Hassan Johnson? We don't belong to black men. We belong to white men, right? We don't belong to black men. We belong to white men. Compassionate. Hey, you saying a word right here. And compassionate says, black men are the West collective psyche's only hope. Ironically, we're the only half sane ones in the place. We're the only halfway sane ones left. I agree. I said it already. It's gonna be black men. It's not going to be anyone else. And shout out to Compassionate because he clipped it's somewhere in his shorts somewhere. It's gonna be black. It's not going to be anyone else to save America. Everybody else is too busy trying to be white. They could call it what they want. I'm just trying to be American. No, you're trying to be white. You're just calling it American. Everybody else is trying to be white. Either be white or be validated by white people. Everyone else. Right? And when I say that, I'm not just I am saying across the planet. Across the planet, namely the West. More specifically America, but across the planet, namely the West, specifically in America, everybody's trying to be white. And this young lady just told y'all what it is. We do not belong to you. And wait a minute, Mr. Z, didn't you say you read a comment from an Asian woman on one of these forums that pretty much said the same thing to Asian dudes? We're no longer in colonial era, just like she said, we're no longer in slavery. Right? The Asian woman said we're no longer in colonial era. Asian men we don't belong to you. An Asian woman put that in a forum comment. I read it with my own two eyes. So that this is not something I'm telling. Nope, I read it with my own two eyes. Huh? They're all finding little backwards, weird ass ways of saying, yeah, we don't belong to you. So that's the one pushback I would offer Kevin if he was still alive. No, Kevin, other women may not be as loud. Maybe they have more women in their communities that would say, no, we do belong to Asian men or we do belong to Latinos or whatever. But a sizable chunk of the women in their communities are on the same thing. Right? I said it before. I think Rogish caught it. White folks are the Sith. They're the Sith. And if you know about the lore of the Sith, last time we checked on Star Wars, there were no original Sith left from their planet. There was none left. And guess what? It didn't matter because the ideology continued. Right? The ideology continued. The dark side of the Force, the way you use it, continued. Right? So when you look in Latin America, and yeah, they got white folks in Latin America, but when you look at the lighter, brighter, not white folks still running the place like they white and pretty much calling themselves white, what is that? Right? Think about that. Huh? What did Dylan Roof say in his manifesto about Latin America? This is a high school dropout that understand race better than I would argue some of your college degree, maybe even master's level degreed up social scientists. Your sociologist. This is a high school dropout white boy mass shooter. And he said the small hats are an enigma. He described Latin America, pretty much saying there's some good white blood down there. Huh? And once again, no placeholder. Thank you for the super chat. Right. So we're gonna play this again. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. We're gonna play this again. The clip from the young lady, and then when we get back, I will be reading the next super chat, and we will continue. All right. Y'all already know. Spit shot budget, shoestring budget, Velcro budget.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Your camera's on. Do you want it on? Okay, here we go. Is it Ona? You're muted. Yeah, we can't hear you.
I said I'm gonna turn my camera off for the time being because my hearing's gone.
Oh, okay. You want to drop a word on this?
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, you have a very soothing voice. I must say, you don't come off as the typical. But I just also want to say, a lot of people might ask, "Oh my God, where are you over here? How did you find this channel?" I'm a Black woman, and I go to the YouTube search. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I look up things for Black women. A lot of Black women do. So if you go to the YouTube search, you would type in Black woman, and you type in live stream, filter it, and then a whole lot of people, it would be titled Black women are disgusting, Black women are this, Black women are that, Black women. So I typically watch things that are dedicated to Black women. That's how I find these type of channels. But anyway, as a Black woman, I'm gonna count down because, like, yeah, my hair is a little messy. But I just want to say, as far as these, sorry, I'm like a little high. So as far as these types of videos, I just think it's very laughable because you can't. I just think it's weird that we fought for generations to not be judged based on the surface of our skin, based on our image. It's like us Black people, we can't get away from racism. Now we live in this new generation where, like, we finally come as one. These new generation of white people are not judging us based on the color of our skin. They're more inclusive, and now we have inverted. Well, I have to say this is only online because I don't get Black men who judge me based on the color of my skin.
Hold on a second. But we're talking today about policy, and we're talking about resources that are extended on the basis of gender and how that's impacting the Black community.
There is no Black community. But in order to have a community, you have to, like, belong to people. Like, we've never belonged to you guys. Like, it's so weird when y'all keep saying our woman. Like, you guys never had any authority over us. You guys never had any power. We've always belonged and have always been property of white men. Now, if you want to move on to this generation, we're free. It's not like back in the day. Even when feminism was a thing when women didn't have rights, we still wasn't enslaved by Black men. Black men still had no authority over us. When you saw those movements back in the day, they were predominantly white women because white men ruled everything. So, like, it's so uncomfortable when you say our woman as if you guys ever had any type of, like, it's so weird. And what community? Like, a broken community. When slavery ended, our race was supposed to end. We were only meant to be property and slaves. Like, it's like,
Now let me pause that. I actually wanted to bring that back just a little bit, but I did something wrong there. Listen to what she said. A broken community. When slavery ended, we were supposed to be dead. She went from saying a broken community. When slavery ended, we were supposed to be dead. Huh? You know, I was considering all the women I named earlier that I deem as broken, and I can't believe I forgot this one name. Raven-Symoné. How did Mr. Z forget Raven-Symoné? Huh? I recall Corey Holcomb speaking about one time him seeing her in the bank, and she was damn there holding on to some random white woman, like the white woman was the famous one. Huh? Raven Simone. Now I do know about her situation with Orlando and whatnot, and apparently he said he had got her pregnant once, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, cool. But Raven Simone, right? Huh. So what we're dealing with here, once again, are a whole bunch of broken women, broken black women. And I got to read this one now, actually. Let me skip a few of them and read this one now, real quick. And Afro National says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Exhibit of black women being white supremacists, number 123,479. It's only funny because it's true. Right? And thank you for the super chat, Afro National. Thank you for the super chat. Hysterical because it's true. Right? See what I'm saying? Compassionate. Compassionate says, she said it straight up. We were never your women. Right? What community? Right? We were never your women. Right? Huh. These women are broken, y'all. Let me play this. We're going to replay this, and then after that, we are going to play Dr. T again. But let me actually highlight this telescopes comment because I'm going to read that in a little bit. But let's read this, and well, let's listen to this. Y'all already know. Once again, shoestring budget, Velcro budget. Here we go, y'all.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Your camera's on. Do you want it on? Okay, here we go. Sona, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I'm gonna turn my camera off for the time being because my hair ain't done.
Okay. You want to drop a word on this?
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, you have a very soothing voice. Unless come off as the typical. But I just also want to say, a lot of people might ask, oh my God, why are you over here? How did you find this channel? I'm a black woman, and I go to the YouTube search. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I look up things for black women. A lot of black women do. So if you go to the YouTube search, you would type in black woman, and you type in live stream, filter it, and then a whole lot of people, it will be titled Black Women Are Disgusting, Black Women Are This, Black Women Are That, Black Women. So I typically watch things that are dedicated to black women. That's how I find these type of channels. But anyway, as a black woman, I'm gonna count down because my hair is a little messy. But I just wanna say, as far as these sorry, I'm like a little high. So as far as these types of videos, I just think it's very laughable because you can't. I just think it's weird that we fought for generations to not be judged based on the surface of our skin, based on our image. It's like us black people, we can't get away from racism. Now we live in this new generation where we finally come as one. These new generation of white people are not judging us based on the color of our skin. They're more inclusive, and now we have inverted. I'm about to say this is only online because I don't get black men who judge me based on the color of my skin.
Hold on a second. But we're talking today about policy, and we're talking about resources that are extended on the basis of gender and how that's impacting the black community.
There is no black community. But in order to have a community, you have to belong to people. We've never belonged to you guys. It's so weird when y'all keep saying our woman. You guys never had any authority over us. You guys never had any power. We've always belonged and have always been property of white men. Now, if you want to move on to this generation, we're free. It's not like back in the day. Even when feminism was a thing where women didn't have rights, we still wasn't enslaved by black men. Black men still had no authority over us. When you saw those movements back in the day, they were predominantly white women because white men ruled everything. So it's so uncomfortable when you say our woman as if you guys ever had any type of it's so weird. like a broken community. When slavery ended, our race was supposed to end. We were only meant to be property and slaves. Like, it's like, we are dysfunctional. And we would never ever be a thing because we was not meant to be a community. We were not meant to thrive. We got out of being slaves, and the whole world wanted us dead. We were not meant to be here, but for somehow we thrived because a group of white people felt sorry for us, and they ended slavery, and they fought, and a lot of them died during the Civil War because it's like, you guys keep going.
You got about 10 more seconds because I got to close the show.
I'm done, but I just want to say hi and welcome to, I guess, because I just found your channel because you're just another Black man who's going to be going 10 years from now talking about us. It's just weird. Like, I think you should go on with your life.
Oh, thank you.
And to Lion Line says, is that the owner chick? Yes, that's her. Right? D says can't save them. Can't save them. Can't save them. Not these. Not like this. Not this. This is gone. This is beyond broken. This is I'm saying broken, but this is gone. She's gone. Right? She's out of here. This that's not salvageable. Right? That's not salvageable. Right? When you hear the way she said broken, the way she said when slavery ended, essentially black people were supposed to be dead. Yeah. So yeah. Right? Exactly. Yeah. And Mr. Shook to you says, oh my God, Z. You remember that very young lady that was on Kevin's show, dating the same thing, saying the same thing. I think he meant to say. Yeah, saying the same thing. We're free now. We don't belong to black men. Black men need to stand with us. Let's call it a thing. She meant the same thing Tiffany Cross meant. Stand behind us. Right. Right. A young Dr. T could have pulled that lady. Mr. Donnie Mac said, if she liked Dr. T's voice, imagine if he had a British accent like Bridgerton Moist. Yeah, man, look. If Dr. T's son sound anything like him, she'll go. And Dr. T's son is what, 6'10"? Yeah, she'll go. Right? But understand her limit. It's black women throwing temper tantrums, man. That they feel like they're stuck in this society, not being white women, stuck in a community with black men, wearing the same jersey color with black men, and no matter how much they elevate, they keep on running into the wall that they have the same jersey color as black men, and that the overt racists won't let them forget who they are. Right? And we're watching them shatter under that pressure. Now the shattering looks like a whole bunch of black men ain't ish rhetoric. Of course. Who else they gonna talk to like that? Right? But there you go. And once again, all respect to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, particularly for letting her talk. Shout out to Dr. T for his patience and for letting her talk. He didn't have to. Right? For letting her talk. Right? That took a lot of patience. Right? This young lady, she's gone, y'all. She's gone. And I want us to be careful. I want Gen Z to be supremely careful with this. This is not salvageable. Dear Gen Z, when you run into a woman like this and now she all about black men, and you hear, oh yeah, I used to date white men and man, get her pregnant if you want to, marry her if you want to. All right, right. But this, all right, right. So broken, you almost want to send her over to white folks if she's not there already. You want to send her over to white dudes as a Trojan horse. Oh, y'all can have her. She's so broken, she gonna destroy whatever white man she with. Homegirl so broken, if whatever white man she end up with ain't bulletproof, you ain't even safe, right? Trill. I ain't even gonna read it out loud, right? Man, that really is you pick for those of you that know, like for all of us that have ever had older cars and you go to the you pick. I don't want to use the other term for it because I don't want to compare a black woman to that. But I'm just saying, right? Wow, right? Once again, shout out to Dr. T. All respect to Dr. T for his patience, for him speaking to her with respect, even though her voice was respectful. But notice something we keep on seeing. These black women continue to go onto streams with black men and not talk about the subject matter and dump. That's the same thing the young lady from Kevin Samuels, Miss Average at Best, that's the same thing she did. Black women continue to go onto these streams, bogart onto these streams, and talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about. And to hell with what the subject matter is. Because what they're telling you is, once again, if I don't think you, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. I'm a black woman, you're a black man, black boy, black male. So I don't have to respect whatever the hell you doing here. Right? Broken as hell. And Telescope says, and thank you for the super chat. Black woman, black woman. I'm not sitting here the whole season cheerleading for the Washington Commanders. I'ma burn down the damn stadium. It really is Telescope. It really is temper tantrum. It really is temper tantrum. They're livid. Black women, but this is the one. Other women, they're mad that they're not white women too. But black women take that to a whole nother level because they're the furthest away. Imagine being a black woman and you watching Asian women just snatching up white dudes left to right and center. And I was here first. Right? I was here first. How the hell? Right? You watching Latinas be equal opportunity. They ended up with white dudes. They ended up with Asian dudes. They ended up with black dudes. Huh? So yeah, black women want to burn this to the ground. Maybe if I burn it to the ground and I don't have anywhere to go, maybe then white men will see me and save me from Blackistan. It doesn't matter that I have all the evidence in the world that they won't. Right? They'll do what they always do. Pick and choose one or two black women to be the Negro whisperers for them and to maneuver you the way they want you maneuvered. Right? Maneuver you the way they want you maneuvered. Huh? Absolute insanity. So yeah, telescope. Yeah, it's yeah. This is beyond disrespectful. She bogarted her way onto the show, right? She said to Dr. T that she was high, and she essentially told him he's wasting his breath. What community? This broken thing. We should have been dead at the end of slavery. Her words, huh? Her words. Because for them, it's torture living in the same space as white women and not getting to be them. It's torture that I don't get to look down on other people too. It's torture. I don't get to he harassed me and have that person deleted. It's torture. It's torture occupying a space where the society it feels like the society is telling me that I'm not a woman because I'm not like this woman. Once again, Sojourner Truth, ain't I a woman? It's torture. Why are we told to settle? White women aren't told to settle. It's torture. Thank you, International Ronin. Beyond disrespectful, but not surprising. Right? It's torture. And once again, Telescope, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And no placeholder says, nope. You are just another white supremacist Keisha's. Hashtag SYSBM. Thank you for the super chat. Yes. Yeah. Just like what was the name of the young lady me and BJS covered? Miss Theodora? Was it Jasmine? Jasmine Theodora. What did she tell y'all? Before she deleted her video because she wasn't built for the stress, for the pressure. What'd she tell y'all? I'm over here with the white dudes because they won. I'm over here with the white dudes because y'all black dudes over here y'all over there talking about race too much. Y'all sound like victims. I can't be over there with y'all victims. White supremacy, that ain't real. And homegirl ended up with the white dude with the beard. What did Dr. Chantel Bug say again about women and their chase for white men with beards? Oops. Hey, the women are telling you. They told you the truth on Kevin Samuels' show. They're telling Jasmine Theodore told you the truth, right? Yanni over here telling you the truth, not realizing she is. What's the incentive? I want to be a kept woman of leisure. That's it. That's all you have to say. We hear you, huh? This young lady, what's her name? Ona, telling you the truth. What were the young ladies saying on Kevin Samuel's show? Who wants to be with Average anyway? Huh? We don't need black men anymore. Well, which by the way is factually inaccurate. It's not true, but hey, nice trying, right? Nice trying. So yeah, she's just another white supremacist, Keisha. And if what y'all are saying, I need to know what other stream she popped up on or whatever. Y'all said when she trolled BGS. I think I saw a comment that said she attempted to troll BGS. Do we know what live that was on? Right. Okay, wait. Look, KW Don already. Look, KW Don already answered it. Thank you, KW Don. And let me read this now. And KW Don says, and thank you for the super chat. KW Don says, Ona is a well-known, should be, is a known troll who derails black conversations with her self-loathing and defeated ideology. I suspect she has dealt with childhood trauma. Okay. Thank you. A little background. All right. Okay, and Indigo said yesterday, right before Dr. T's stream. Okay. Okay, and Charles says, okay, yesterday his AMA. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay. Anybody remembers Jess? Oops. So, do we want to wait until Ona finally snaps and tell us what the real issue is? Just like we let Jess talk long enough. Shout out to Toya, and she finally told us what the real issue is on Toya's channel. Huh? I know Jess is still around. Yeah, she's still around. Huh? You let them talk long enough. Let them talk. FD and them, and I saw the thumbnail. Thank you for those of you that told me that FD put out something yesterday. I saw the thumbnail. I'll check it out after this. I guess I'll be streaming to y'all a little bit later because he got INCLS up there. Oh boy, and it's a long ass think piece. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I wonder if he's gonna cover South Korea. He might cover South Korea. Remember, he jumped on Z stream and I was covering South Korea. Right? Oh, Vincent said he didn't. Oh, he didn't? Okay. Anyway. I thought I was good. Okay, well, you know what? I ain't even gonna talk crap yet. I'm not. Right? I'll check it out when I get a chance. But thank you for the information, KW Dawn. Huh. So she's a troll. She's just going around trolling. Okay, we'll wait until she finally tells us what the issue is. And then we'll walk her up from the edge of the cliff. Black men are listening to black women insult them, belittle them, and troll them, and then we walk them from the edge of the cliff. Did y'all forget about the young lady when it was last year that jumped onto the Roger Reports channel talking about her abusive ex white husband? I think he was white Latino and she had a kid from him and et cetera, and yada yada yada. And then we walked her from off the edge of the cliff essentially. And I'm not gonna give y'all the details of you know what happened in the back chat afterward. But needless to say, we continue to walk her from the edge of the cliff. Then there's Jess. Now that I promise you, this young lady's gonna keep on coming around here until we walk her from the edge of the cliff. Promise you. Right? And Leon says FD Signifier stream was trash. That's interesting because you know, Leon is the type that he'll disagree with you and be like, but you had a good point here, and I like this here, and have a thought. Listen to how they said this here. If Leon saying it's trash, then goddamn, it got to be trash, right? G, what's going on? Right? Wow. Huh. Leon, I'm sorry, not Leon, Lion. Lion said that's why they keep coming back. I know what you're trying to say. That's why they keep on coming back because y'all won't let them jump. That's funny because it's true. We serving the women that's calling us Dusties. Oh, the Klingon ritual continues. It's not even Klingon mating ritual at this point. It's just Klingon behavior, period. They come in, tell us we're not on their level, tell us how great white men are, right? Insult us, play us, belittle us, right? And then we got to slowly walk them off of the edge of the cliff of a lifetime supply of antidepressant pills. Not even for our own benefit, but for theirs. Let Mr. Z stroke his own ego real quick, diddle himself real quick. Chrissy, oops. Huh? Chrissy was sounding real crazy. Kept on referring to Z. Now you see her slowly inching back because I kept on saying, "You sound crazy. Let high school go. Let your early 20s go. You're leading the young women that you're listening to, you're leading them off the edge of a cliff. You may have the money not to fall off, but they don't." That's a good question. And Compassion asks, AZ, do you think they really look at us and see powerlessness or weakness, or is it them just projecting to feel better about not being white? Do we have institutional power the way white folks, white men namely, have institutional power? No, not really. Do they necessarily see powerlessness? I don't think so. I can't say I'm not a black woman, but I would say they probably don't. I think it really is them feeling beat down by the society. But the one true thing that everyone knows in this society is you could talk crap, you could beat up, you could belittle black men with like little to no repercussions or consequences, like no repercussions or consequences. So they do what they know. They do what they know. You could blame black men for all your ills. White society is shredding right now DEI and all these programs that black women have been using for the past decade. And then they're going even further back and shredding programs and statutes that black women have been using for a few decades now to elevate. And instead of black women going after them, where's the chorus of black women to go after Ed Blum? Where are all the black women that are supposed to? Where is Bowser's coverage of Ed Blum? I'll check her channel. Maybe she did something on Patreon I don't know about. Where's Khadijah's? Where's T Noir? Where is that? But no, y'all steadily talking about desirability politics and black men and colorism and futurism and texturism. And here you have this white man that don't care nothing about that, and he's going right at the group, right at the system that produces women like you. Y'all don't even know how to protect your own space, so you could keep on talking crap about black men. The spaces that give y'all the degrees, because from my understanding, I don't think T Noir finished. But still, the spaces that give y'all the language and the lexicon to continue talking this crap and then sound smart about it, barely. Y'all not even doing the things to at least attempt to protect those spaces. We know we live in an anti-black society, a white supremacist society, but what are y'all doing to even attempt to protect those spaces? Or at least protect your position in those spaces for the future use. Huh? And I'm Wolf says, Z, didn't Kayla Nicole mention something about wanting to date a man with power or something? No, that was Ebony K. Williams. I don't know if Kayla Nicole said something similar, but it was Ebony K. Williams, and she said that on Tor when she interviewed with Torre, right? While he was trying to equivocate and give her excuses. It was infuriating watching. Ebony K. Williams was being so blatant with her language, and you just watch Torre just trying to sanitize. Euphemisms. Oh, how can I fix this and make it sound palatable and feminist? How can I make this sound feminist? How can I say, oh, it's not you that's insecure. It's the men, right? The men are insecure. They're the ones with the problem with your power and your money, right? And she was like, no, it's me. So what you mean to say, no, she said what she said the way she said it, the way she meant it. Thank you, Jake. And Jake says, Z, they don't know who Ed Blum is or what he's about. No. I would agree. Your rank and file everyday black women, of course, right? But the Bowsers and the Khadijas, oh, they know. Napi and Hoba, they better know, right? Thank you, Excalibur. Yo, Ebony Excalibur says she said it too. Ebony K. Williams was so just what word in the English lexicon so overt, so blatant, so in your face with it. And you watch Torre just try to like matrix dodge the very blatant words she was. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Very blatant words that she was using. She didn't leave no space for interpretation. None. And he's still trying to, oh, what you mean is, what you're trying to say is, no. Right? And once again, no place to thank you for the super chat. And a split gym says, at the gym, who needs hype music when you have this topic to fuel your vigilance? It's good to know a split gym's at the gym, right? A split gym is at the gym, bench pressing, benching while he's listening to Z rage out, right? And let's play Dr. T one more again and what he was saying and in his assessment and his critique after Ona the Troll spoke. So we're gonna let Dr. T, bring us back into focus and calm us down a bit, And here we go.
Now, here's the thing. For those who are content creators, I let her talk for a reason. Feel free to capture and do what you gotta do. Clip it. That's the reason I let her talk. Uninterrupted, because I wanted you guys to be able to have access to that. Now, as far as this kind of blowback that some of us are getting from these trolls about, you're just talking about whatever. We're not talking about this because of our women or any of that bullshit. What we're talking about is policy. What we're talking about is what I called a couple of years ago, social gentrification. It's when you have another community that can come into your space, literally buy off whole demographics by offering them peanuts and dismantle a community from within. Now, we can debate back and forth about how much the black community saw itself as a community, ever identified as a community, so on and so forth. But I'll tell you this, a lot of this blowback came in with the rise of feminism and the courting of black women by white women and by Western resources. That in and of itself began the splitting from within. And why is that relevant? Well, when you had the advent of global media, magazines and newspapers, you had this small black community, right, that were on camera getting bitten by dogs. Now, all of a sudden, in the 1960s, people all around the world wanted to know what we had to say. And for the most part, that black community, at least in terms of public media and the outcries for justice, were consolidated. This is why the 1970s was filled with every ideological group possible coming within the black community and dismantling it from within. And this is something that you're not going to find articulated any more clearly than Bobby Wright, which you can find right here on YouTube, Dr. Bobby Wright, psychologist. It's in and breaks down in just a few minutes the impact of the 1970s. And it was a complete reversal of the 1960s. It had to do with buying off demographics of the black community, from women to students, across the board, from class to gender, sexuality to color. Every dynamic you can think of was used after the 1960s to make sure that there was no coherent, articulated political position that came from the black community, especially one that seemed united in its focus. It has succeeded, in my assessment, in terms of breaking apart the black community from within. So we're accounting from an area that's not gotten much pushback in the last 5 decades. We're accounting for how this functioned on gender terms. Now, I'll leave you with this. The reason it's so important to discuss this on gender terms is because for every other type of disassociation that the black community witnessed coming in and trying to dismantle from within, nothing is as formidable as breaking down family formation. Get this and understand it well. If you're talking about different political ideologies, right, left, you're talking about religion, whatever religion you choose, all of those things can be sources of dismay. But when you have one that actually breaks down family formation, no community can continue beyond that. And so I wanted to come onto YouTube to give Black men the vocabulary to break down what has happened and what is continuing to happen. Because we're in a critical time where we're actually witnessing these resources that Black women have been lured with for generations now starting to be withdrawn right in front of us. And we're starting to see the impact it's having.
And to Dr. T, once again, much respect, much respect. Once again for his patience, his grace, his demeanor, um, especially with that disrespect. Um, yeah, you know. And Big Kev says, save the community equals serve the gynocracy. Exactly, exactly. Right. And you know, so what did Dr. CT say that I just want? Oh yeah. So and I couldn't find the words. The message still got through to FD, but I couldn't find the term that I was looking for perfectly, which is benign neglect, right? If I recall correctly, when I spoke to him the second time, this is what we're speaking about here. Black women were empowered over black men. White society put the thumb on the scales for black women. Listen, FD, it's not up for debate. Foreign man in a foreign land. Eddie, Josh, Alvin, Ed and Eddie, Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's not up for debate. T1J, it's not up for debate. Professor Odie, it's not up for debate. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Umar Johnson, it's not up for debate. White society put the thumb on the scales for black women. For black women to benign neglect black boys and men. And they're telling you they got the message. Okay? That's what they were saying on Kevin Samuel's show every night. That's what this young lady just expressed to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. That's what the mental health care professional expressed to Kevin Samuels, black woman. Huh? That's what they're essentially saying on Daily Wrap Up Crew, right? That's what they're essentially saying on Crew Season, right? What's the African brother? Let's talk. That's what many of them are saying on that channel. When you let black women talk long enough, they snipe at black men. They let you know how black men are not on their level, and they let you know that they are the overseers of the black community. Are they going to say it in those words? No, they're not. But you let them talk long enough, and they will convey the message. You let Bowser talk long enough, and she will convey the message. You let Chrissy talk long enough, and she will convey the message. You let Cynthia G talk long enough, and she conveyed the message. They're not working, break them. Translation, abort them. They're not working the way we want them to work, abort them. Right? When you let these people that think like Miss Ona talk long enough, this is where we are. I purposely emphasized when Jess was on the channel and she compared black men, the masses of black men, to a handful of billionaires on planet Earth. And I made sure to catch the statement that she made that essentially she adopted, as Sarge Willie Pete is continually saying, white folks' idea of feudalism. What Jess told you is that the wealthy people should have more say. They should have more power. They should be the ones to be procreating. Oops. This is bigger than just black women, black men, intimacy, who gets the pretty women and the quote unquote exotical looking black women and the light skinned women, black women and the racially ambiguous black women. It's bigger than that. Huh? Y'all refuse to admit and acknowledge that white society chose their side. White society chose their side. They have a proxy war going on in the black community and they chose their side. If you're watching them do that in nations 4 and 5 and 6 and 7,000 miles away, what the hell you think they're doing right here within the US borders? The US chose their side. Huh? And the black community, black men like Boyce Watkins, like Steve Harvey, like FD Signifier, like Dr. Umar Johnson, like Conscious Lee, like Professor Odie, like Ed and Eddie, Joss, Ed and Alvin, Alvin and the Chipmunks, refuse to acknowledge the very blatant. That is why y'all refuse to see the very blatant. You refuse to acknowledge it. You see it, you refuse to acknowledge it. Now we're hearing little bits and pieces of y'all finally using the word misandrist, misandry, foreign man in a foreign land. 5 years ago, y'all weren't using that word. 2 years ago, you weren't using that word. 6 months ago, you weren't using that word. We're getting you to move because we're throwing so much evidence in your face. We're throwing so much evidence in your face. You have no choice. But even with that, it's like pulling teeth. Conscious Lee had to. It had to be so blatant. Rhoda got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. And Dr. Umar Johnson is still telling y'all, but I still stand on what I said. Black men are obligated to black women, and yet black women are telling you what community. Oops. How you obligated to a group of people that tell you what community? How you obligated to a group of people that tell you apologize for what? Huh? Dr. Umar Johnson want to tell black men that they're responsible for Rhoda, and he's still standing on what he said and how he said it. Meanwhile, Ona is telling you what community. We should be dead. What community? Black women don't belong to black men. So you want black men to be responsible for a group of people that's telling you they don't even belong here. Huh? And once again, thank you for the super chat, a split Jim. And Lithium says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. You can argue black men saved the U.S. post office with passport bros. Hysterical. I've been sitting on this thought for a while. Huh. Maybe. Right? And I saw a clip of a black woman, low key celebrating while threatening black men. So they're celebrating. the 20 some odd um black men that have been deleted overseas, particularly in Colombia. So they're celebrating that, and essentially she was like, "Hey, you better be nice to us over here." Y'all want Mr. Z to translate that for y'all? Kiss our ass over here, or you're gonna go over there and they're gonna kill you. Haha. You better kiss our ass over here, or you're gonna go over there and they're gonna kill you. And I'm looking over there and I see a line of black men still getting their passports because they're saying, "I'll take my chances." Black women, maybe y'all don't realize how horrible you've made the black community, how unbearable you've made the black community for black men. Maybe you don't fully appreciate how unbearable you've made the black community for your average black man. Huh? That black men are willing to go to Colombia and potentially be deleted than stay in a community that tells you to pay fealty to a group of people that would rather not be here than their damn selves. And if the white guys were checking, y'all would be gone. Huh? Pay fealty to women like Ona. So yeah, there's black men because black men are far less risk averse, far more built for this than black women are. Black men are saying, "Yeah, I'll take my chances." Right? So that whole passport bros thing, yeah. Huh. Yeah, and Lion says they don't nor do they care. They don't know, I know what you're saying. They don't know nor do they care because they still have black men like Dr. Umar Johnson and FD trying to save them. Yeah. And that's the whole goal though. The when FD came onto my panel and he mentioned the Black Panthers, right? He mentioned the Black Panthers, and I knew what he was saying. He was essentially saying how the Black Panthers worked, and how there was brothers washing the dishes and cooking, right? Because they didn't want to fall into certain gender roles, and black women were throwing a fit back during those days about, oh, these guys are the ones out here with the action, and we got to be the ones over here. They're not gonna have us cooking and cleaning, and that's all we're gonna do. So okay, and FD referenced that, but that's not exactly what's going on here, is it? As Sarge Willie Pete said, you know, there's a specific type of black woman that actually they do want you to have it all, but they still want you to be the passengers in the passenger seat, right? And like FD just refuses to acknowledge that he wants to separate that into a different form, like, oh, that's boss girl feminism. No, that's what black women are on. That's what black women are on, right? And a split Jim also says, and thank you for the super chat. A split Jim also says, this is their interpretation of history. Oh man, that's a horrible interpretation of history. If that's their interpretation of history, that's a horrible interpretation of history. But then again, we're speaking about the same people, whether it was an LGBTQ black man, a straight black male feminist, or a black woman who like shoehorns characters like Big or Long into movies like Harriet. right? These are people that are like right now. It's I said it before. I don't know why y'all have a problem with DeSantis, right? I don't understand why y'all have a problem with Ron DeSantis when y'all want to rewrite history. Also, dear black women, you want to rewrite history and make black man the boogeyman. Black men are the white supremacists of the black community, and black men are over here terrorizing black women. And so, why do you have a problem with Ron DeSantis? He's going to play down slavery. You're going to play down slavery. Huh? He's going to essentially do the Donald Trump. Oh, there's good people on both sides. We literally watch Ona just say that essentially. White folks fought to free black people. Never mind the fact that majority of white folks, even during the Civil War, actually didn't care much about freeing black people. That includes the North. Huh? So if black women want to rewrite history and make black men into the boogeyman of the black community, what's the problem with Ron DeSantis rewriting history? What's the problem with Greg Abbott rewriting history? The problem is what? Huh? Thank you. And Compassionate says, this is a great comment. Compassionate says, if you can't openly admit you just want to be white, the best you can do is make the case for how it's unbearable to be black. I guess hoping white people will delete us off so you'll be absorbed by default. Yeah. Well, BJS tells us that's the goal for white folks right now anyway in this nation. But I guess black women are saying it's not happening fast enough. I can't take this black thing anymore. White men, come save me, come marry me, come give me my mixed baby. Come at me, oops. I mean, that is what they're saying. That is what the women are saying. That's literally what they're saying. Right? Well, for them, it's not a pause, Detroit. Right? They want that mixed baby. They want to move in the burbs and have their white husband and not have to worry about this black thing anymore. And yeah, they're going to have to deal with um, the Beckys with this same attitude, but they think they're going to meet what? 20, 30 different black women who occupy this same space, and then you're gonna go to brunch together and you're gonna be the black women with the white husbands, right? Ishmael said, hey yo, that is how they sound though. Ishmael, that is how that if you listen to Chrissy speak, right? Listen to Lexus Exodus speak, right? That is what they're saying. And the thrown off chick that O'Shea covers all the time. I mean, she literally is like essentially going around with a cup, begging white dudes to fill the cup for her. We'll say. She literally is talking about mixed babies. And Compassionate says, I see this all the time when I tell black women 3, 4 women work full time. They can't accept that all white people aren't rich. They can't. They can't. They can't. Right? They can't. It doesn't matter the facts. And once again, split Jim, thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Yeah, they can't. Right? Median household income $74,000 a year. 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. 60% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency. Median credit score, if I'm not mistaken, is somewhere around 680. 680. Right? Or average credit scores, either median or average. I'm not mistaken. Right? Median household income is under $75,000. I watched a clip of even Anton. Anton done changed a lot, y'all, when it comes to this. Anton has changed a lot. I think this Anton, maybe Charles wouldn't see him as much of an arrogant a-hole as he could be. Right? But Anton, like, brother, the reason why the sisters sound the way they do is because of the old you, the way you used to sound like a year or two ago. And y'all still kind of be selling them on that. No, tell them, hey, this is the median household income. And for most of you, if you don't want to be single, lonely, and destitute, you're going to have to get with a brother or a man that's around here. That's what it is. Period. Y'all still kind of selling them on aspirationalism. Huh? Ona over here talking all that crap. Jasmine Theodora talking whatever she's saying. Chrissy over here say, and even Chrissy had to take a few steps back. The women sound delusional because y'all help them to sound delusional. Black women sound delusional. Going back to what Compassion is saying, black women sound delusional about white people's wealth because of people like y'all. Are there do white people have more money than black people? Absolutely. More wealth, more savings, more holdings, all of that, yes. But is the average white person balling out of control? Nope. Median household income, once again, $74,000. That's one person making 40 and one person making 35. There you go, $75,000. Right? Huh. That's what it is. 1/3 of families make $100,000 a year or more. 2/3 of men will never earn more than $65 or so thousand a year in their lifetime. That's what it is. So to hell with what Yanni and Chrissy and Anton, well, at least the old Anton was saying. That's the numbers. Half the reason why these black women sound so goddamn delusional is because y'all been selling them this a lot on social media, and even before social media, y'all was selling them, not the social media content creators, but TV shows and all these reality, whatever the hell's, selling them this crap for decades. Right? And KW Dawn says, and thank you for the super chat. This is example of I can't do anything with black women that loves the cracker. You heard the way the young lady spoke. Y'all heard the way she spoke, right? I mean, Telescope literally. And Telescope says, meaning all those Keishas managing to make their house note because of government loan forbearance are gonna get put out in the streets. I mean, we literally have. They say what correlation is not causation, or right? But we literally have like through lines between black men incarceration, Black women homelessness, black men incarceration, right? And black childhood abuse, right? Or the abuse of children, better yet. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. Right? And Compassionate says, plot twist, 98% of black women love whiteness. Just count how many wigs and weaves you see today. But here's another one, Compassionate. 98% of black women businesses are sole proprietorships. They have no employees. Right? At least last time I checked. 98%. Huh? 98%. And yet these people speak like they're that much better than you. And you're holding them down. Right? And Mr. Donnie Max says, and once again, thank you for the super chat, KW Don. And I said KW, excuse me. And Mr. Donnie Max says, once again, Miss Cartwright, the myth of white womanhood. That's all. That's literally where, and I'm going to play it one more again. That's literally where Ona was coming from. Right? That's literally where Ona was coming from. And once again, no regard for what Dr. T. Hassan Johnson stream was about. None. No regard. No respect for Dr. T. Essentially viewing him as just another Negro. And Negro is not even the word I want to use. Alexa, play Trick Daddy's America, the second verse, please. America with the 3 Ks. Look, Trill, I got it right this time. Right? And here we go. We're going to play it one more again, and then we're going to close out in a minute. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Here we go, you guys.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Your camera's on. Do you want it on? Okay, here we go. Is it on? You're muted. You gotta unmute. We can't hear you.
I said I'm gonna turn my camera off for the time being because my hair ain't done.
Oh, okay. Did you want to drop a word on this?
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, you have a very soothing voice. I must say, you don't come off as the typical. But I just also want to say, a lot of people might ask, oh my God, where are you over here? How did you find this channel? I'm a black woman, and I go to the YouTube search. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I look up things for black women. A lot of black women do. So if you go to the YouTube search, you would type in black woman, and you type in live stream, filter it, and then a whole lot of people, it would be titled Black Women Are Disgusting, Black Women Are This, Black Women Are That, So I typically watch things that are dedicated to black women. That's how I find these type of channels. But anyway, as a black woman, I'm gonna calm down because, like, yeah, my hair is a little messy. But I just want to say, as far as these, sorry, I'm like a little high. So as far as these types of videos, I just think it's very laughable because you can't. I just think it's weird that we fought for generations to not be judged based on the surface of our skin, based on our image. It's like us black people, we can't get away from racism. Now we live in this new generation where, like, we finally come as one. These new generation of white people are not judging us based on the color of our skin. They're more inclusive, and now we have.
Yes, Compassionate. She said she was a little bit high.
I have to say this is only online because I don't get black men who judge me based on the color of my skin.
Hold on a second. But we're talking today about policy, and we're talking about resources that are extended on the basis of gender and how that's impacting the black community.
There is no black community. But in order to have a community, you have to, like, belong to people. Like, we've never belonged to you guys. Like, it's so weird when y'all keep saying our woman. Like, you guys never had any authority when slavery ended, our race was supposed to end. We were only meant to be property and slaves. Like, it's like, we are dysfunctional. And we would never ever be a thing because we was not meant to be a community. We were not meant to thrive. We got out of being slaves, and the whole world wanted us dead. We were not meant to be here, but somehow we thrived because a group of white people felt sorry for us, and they ended slavery, and they fought, and a lot of them died during the Civil War because they wanted, because it's like, you guys keep going.
You got about 10 more seconds because I got to close the show.
I'm done, but I just want to say hi and welcome to, I guess, because I just found your channel because you're just another black man who's going to be going 10 years from now and talking about us. It's just weird. Like, I think you should go on with your life.
Oh, thank you.
And Toya says, I don't know about Ona, but I'd rather be a black man's property than any other. Y'all heard what she said? Y'all heard her. Right? Y'all heard her? We always belong to and were the property of white men. Ona's words. Belong to and were the property of white men. Huh? Huh. Now, if you really think you're free, you said now we're free. Okay. If you really think we're free, but you look out in the world and in your mind, all you see is white power, white hegemonic power, but you're quote unquote free. Who do you look up to? Especially considering the past. Uh-oh. Are you really free? Mentally? Are you really free? Emotionally? Psychologically? Are you really free? What does your quote unquote free entail? Right? Thank you, Toya. Thank you. Exactly. I'm done. I just want to say F you, though. Yeah. To Dr. T. Essentially, that's what she was saying. Exactly. And that's what Lion is saying. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Compassionate and give us free. Not Amistad. Right? And once again, thank you, Mr. Donnie Mack, for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right? And KW Don, once again, when he was informing us, and I'll read it again. And KW Don says, and thank you for the super chat, Ona is a known troll who derails black conversations with her self-loathing and defeated ideology. I suspect she has dealt with childhood trauma. Right? Huh. Oh, good one, good one. And Vincent says, delusion with illusion. Delusion with, that is a combustible mix. That's a toxic brew. Now that is a Frankenstein monster. Delusion with illusion. Oh, right. Thank you. What's the name of the song? Was it a British singer, poet? Yeah, windmills of my mind. Windmills of the mind. Windmills of the mind. Of my mind. Right. As Compassionate said, a dream inside a dream embedded in a nightmare on some Inception-ish, right? Yeah. When I read that, I thought about I think the song name is called Windmill of my mind, of the mind, of my mind. Something like that. I can't remember the title of it. Yeah. Right. Who said this again? Compassionate. And Compassionate says an idea is like a virus, resilient, highly contagious. The smallest seed of an idea can grow. It can grow to define or destroy you. Thank you, Biro. Windmills of my mind, 1969. Thank you. Right. But yeah, Leo from Inception. Okay, yeah, it was Leo. Okay, yeah, I remember. And thank you, Jake. Jake says the windmills of your mind. Yeah, right. And so that's all. Y'all heard what this lady said. I wanted to review this today because once again, shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. I think he did a masterful job. I think he stayed calm, cool, and collected. He showed us the way it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to be done. The way it's supposed to be done, right? He let her talk. He still was assertive. He got his message across. He let her get her message across, which is essentially, we don't belong to you Negroes. We belong to the white man. And I mean what I said, compassionate and passport OG. Y'all go ahead. Dr. T said we can snip and clip whatever we needed to from him. I'm saying y'all can clip whatever y'all need to from this, and please highlight her like, what community we belong to the white man. And y'all, and compassion, you could go back to the other stream I did, and I'm gonna link it in the comment section here. I mean, excuse me, in the description box here for this later on, and just go through, especially like what you had with the Asian woman. Just go through and just clip all those women, pretty much saying we belong to the white man. The white peen chase is real. I have ideas, y'all. I have ideas, right? My life is just, I'm always on the hustle and bustle. That's the only reason I'm not like getting with compassionate, and like, so that we could just have just clips, just videos, right? 2 minute long, 3 minute long videos, so y'all could just see like woman after woman, black women, Asian women, Latina women, indigenous women, all, well, not indigenous. I haven't heard I'm gonna check. I haven't caught anything from indigenous women yet, but Latina women, black women, Asian women, and that's South and East Asian women, just essentially worshiping at the altar of white dudes, right? And essentially finding their way of saying exactly what Oda said, right? Yeah. And Jake says, wanting to stay in eternal delusion, infinite Tsukuyomi, right? And for those of you that don't know, that's a Naruto reference. It's hysterical. Right? Thank you. And companion said, we got to get Toya married off so she don't go down with the ship. We have to. Right? That thing is going. Ship is sinking. Oh man. I'm telling you, I got ideas because, hey, this white peen, and it comes down to racial hypergamy at the end of the day, right? And throwing a temper tantrum because you're not white, right? And I meant what I said earlier. The way these women are speaking, and shout out to Shay Sade, even she see like they can't deal with the reality of, I'm not a white woman. I went to school, I got my degree, I this and this and that, and I'm not a white woman. It's not fair. I don't get treated. I got a doctorate and I still don't get treated like a white woman. You're not white. And here's the important thing. You're not doing the things in this society so that we could change the dynamic between white and black, and your daughters and granddaughters won't have to feel that way in 15, 20, 30 years. Right? Trail said, very Uchiha clan. You see me? Right? Huh. And Leon says, man in the foreign land, FD think he is more important because he writes good sentences versus people on IG, aka the shade room. They are not even American. They are. I'm trying so hard. Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, who did it? Somebody just did a think piece on the Shade Room. Who just did a think? I just watched it. Leon, was it you that sent me that? Right. Who just did a think piece on? Huh. Yeah, I just watched it. Yeah. And then yeah, similar points. Similar points. I'm whooping 20, 30 years is too long. They want their white privileges now. Yeah. Yep. Right. So, coming to a close, um, shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Ona, shout out to Ona for coming up and telling us the truth, even though that truth was induced by a little bit of a high, I guess. And I don't know what antidepressants she's probably taking, but she ain't no way she ain't taking something. Or if maybe she's not, and maybe she should be, right? Is she? Yeah, yeah. My sister told me that. And Jake says, Mona Scott Young is Haitian. See, y'all gotta get her. I'll put on the APB, right? Okay, yeah. And I did watch it. And Leon said FD signifier and man in a foreign land. And yes, I sent it to you. I was dead laughing my ass off. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, because they were speaking about how it was how at first the Shade Room looked like it was kind of like gonna be World Star Hip Hop ish, where it was kind of like a converse. It was essentially black people wanting to see black people doing black stuff, even if that meant like hood stuff and whatever. But it was like a black conversation, and then all of a sudden it started to morph into like more and more black dysfunction that black elites and non-black people use to justify whatever they already think negatively about black people in the first place. Right? Well, I want to make a whole separate stream. And Leon says the petite bourgeoisie should be more valued. I want to make a whole separate stream responding to FD signifier and him essentially saying, because essentially saying like, we're talking over your average black person. And that's what him and T Noir, when him and T Noir was speaking, and for those of you that didn't check it out, Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, there's a segment of one of his recent think pieces where he's speaking to T Noir, and T Noir is telling him like, us black intellectuals or black cultural critics think we're above your everyday black person. And a part of me listening to T Noir, I'm hearing FD signifier trying to run ahead of the black manosphere. Right? They're attempting to get on top of, because at first, and this is what T Noir was trying to say, they thought that this talk of pop culture and um um like pop like current event stuff that black youth were talking about was beneath them, right? And what they found is that left uncritiqued and without the proper quote unquote context, guardrails, which they're supposed to be the ones to provide, let them tell it, and the correct quote unquote lens to view these things through, what ends up happening is a Kevin Samuels, and an Andrew Tate, yikes, and your son's actually listening to them. Now, I'm not saying T Noir said all of that, but that's where she was going with it. And what T Noir and FD, not FD, but Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, we're essentially saying is that we can't speak above these people, but we got to give them the lens to view this through without making them feel like we think we're better than them. Of course, they were talking about black people in general and not black men, because they're perfectly okay with black men thinking that they think they're better than us, because they think that they're better than us. We're retrograde, sexist, misogynist a-holes over here. Don't forget. right? Oh, Mr. Shook to you, thank you for the link, thank you for the link. And Mr. Shook to you says, "We're independent, we're free now" from Kevin Samuels, and he put the link in. Thank you. Thank you. And Leon says, "Bruh, the Shade Room is 29 million followers, 70% black women. Let it sink in. FD signifier, man in a foreign land. That's all, right? Right? Huh? So yeah, no, that clip of foreign man in a foreign land, and yeah, no, the reason I said it, like I said to FD signifier about BGS, the reason why you see us speak about BGS and the reason why BGS gets respect in these spaces is because he actually speaks to what black men are experiencing and saying, and not dismissing it, and not trying to sun us, and not trying to give us the quote unquote right lens to see it through, which is a black women are right, you're wrong, shut up, take it, huh? And let's be very clear, you and Professor Odie and Conscious Lee and Foreign Man in a Foreign Land and T1J and the rest of you were never going to do that. You were always going to call us misogynists. You were always going to call us sexist, colorist, featurist. You're going to always say that we want to be white men. That's what you were always going to say, right? Oh no, I did it. I'm gonna check it out right after at the end of the stream. Mr. Z, could you get the words out? Okay, let's try that again. Ghost Elmatic says, Mr. Z, did you hear FD talk about the manosphere in his video yesterday? He's lying about manosphere talking points. I'm going to check it out right at the end of this, and I'm about to close out right now. Look, Z, there you go. Right. Um. Yeah, no, I'm going to check that out right now, actually. So, talking about that, so we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, and thank you, y'all, for listening in. Right, thank you for listening in, and we will end right here. Look, whatever you do, for the love of God, go check out some non-Black Manosphere content. Go read something. Go touch grass. And hopefully, y'all don't sound like male versions of Ona, which I don't. That's not us anyway. So yeah, nope. Yeah, because Ona is on one. Talking about Ona is on one. Like I said, I do think the young lady is broken. I'm gonna check out. Y'all said she popped up on BGS's stream yesterday. I'm gonna check it out because I could. The young lady's broken. The way she spoke, the way she used the word broken, the way she's pretty much said that the black community should be gone. Yeah, that's it. She's broken, y'all. She's broken. She's broken, right? So, I'm not gonna say don't mind her. Just understand you're dealing with someone that might have some psychological and mental issues. That does not mean we don't take her seriously and what she said seriously, but it does mean that we're careful on how we. First of all, you're not supposed to internalize what she said, detrimental for your health. But it is to say, remember, you're probably listening to a person with some deep mental and emotional scars, right? So I will pause right here. Truly, y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day, and I'm gonna check out that FD signifier think piece, and I'm gonna check out Ona on BGS's channel. So thank y'all very much, and y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day. Go touch some grass. He said, "Go touch some grass." And y'all have a great day. What's going on, AB? You're late. You're even more late than me. All right, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.